Tonight, forget the battle scenes, forget the monsters, because Ragnarok isn't the end of the world, it's the moment. The world stops cooperating. Most people hear Ragnarok and picture a final battle, gods on one side, monsters on the other, a clean ending. But that's the wrong picture, because the old story doesn't end like a movie, it ends like a system, quietly, at first, then all at once. And the scary part is this: Ragnarok isn't the end of nature, it's the end of the idea that nature was ever under control. We've been trained to read Ragnarok like a scoreboard, winners, losers, gods versus monsters, a clean, heroic ending. But the old story isn't built like that. It's built like a warning, because Ragnarok doesn't begin with a sword. It begins with the rules. Breaking. Not loud, not cinematic. Just subtle failures stacking up until the world can't pretend anymore. Ice that should hold, doesn't. Seasons that should return, don't. And coastlines stop behaving, like lines on a map. In Ragnarok, the apocalypse isn't an attack. It's the moment the environment stops cooperating, and everything we built on top of it starts to slip. Zoom out. In the Norse mindset, the world is drawn like a contract, a split jurisdiction. Midgard is an enclosure, a middle yard, a place with borders. Asgard is fortified, engineered, patrolled, and outside that he is the edge. Deep forest, ice fields, mountains, black water. So the map isn't random, it's a treaty, written in geography, and Ragnarök is what it looks like when that treaty stops holding. Here's what matters. In Ragnarok, the first signs aren't giants marching. The first signs are the world, changing shape. Winter doesn't just arrive, it stays. Fimbulwinter, 3 long winters, isn't just bad weather. It's the world, refusing to return to normal. Then society cracks, trust collapses, brother turns on brother. Promises stop working. Because when nature destabilizes, human order destabilizes with it. This isn't a battlefield story, it's a system story. People focus on the spectacle, the flames, the flood, the sky, breaking. But fire isn't evil in the myth. Fire is a force that doesn't negotiate. Same with water. The sea doesn't attack. It simply stops respecting the shore. And that's the point. Ragnarok isn't a monster invasion. It's the moment the edge reclaims the center. Here's why the gods fear it. Because in the Norse world, gods aren't omnipotent. They're managers. They maintain the center. They enforce the agreement. They keep the walls standing. But nature isn't something you finish. Nature is something you manage until you forget, and then it reminds you. Ragnarök is nature reminding everyone at once. So what does taking control actually look like? Not a giant stomping through villages. It looks like the cold. Turning your breath into a warning. It looks like fog, making the ocean feel endless. It looks like a mountain pass that doesn't care how brave you feel. Ragnarok is not the end of the world. It's the end of the world humans thought they controlled. And here's the part most retellings skip. Ragnarök isn't written like, and then everything is gone. After the flood, the world rises again. Green returns. Some gods survive. New people appear. So the myth isn't obsessed with endings. It's obsessed with cycles. The message isn't, someday monsters will attack. The message is, someday the boundary will fail. And when it fails, you won't hear footsteps first. You'll feel it. before you see it. So don't treat Ragnarok like a finale. Treat it like a warning label, a story about what happens when nature stops withdrawing. Because the moment the world stops backing away, myths stop looking like fantasy. They start looking like headlines. And next time, we go deeper. Because there's a reason the gods feared the Jotnar, not for their size, for what they represent, and what happens when they stop withdrawing.